So the Bundesliga returned to action this past weekend with plenty of goals for us to savour. So, how did your newly adopted Bundesliga team get on? We'll talk about that and my hair next. That's right, folks, back once again with another Bundesliga prediction video, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button to keep you bang up to date with all things Bundesliga related, Blackburn Rovers related, no hair related. We got it all here under one Ruski. Yeah, let's in fact we'll save the hair in just a second. I want a big shout out before we get into it to the patrons, boys and girls. Respect to my brothers, all 8 of yous now, of course. Needs must and all that. A couple of them have dropped away, but big shout out to the lads. You know who you are. Respect to you for supporting the channel, going through this rough time. And of course the content has been a little bit off, a little bit different than usual, but hopefully now the Bundesliga is back, maybe some other leagues will follow suit and we can start doing more prediction videos, which is, I'm pretty sure, what you're here for. But yes, let's talk about the hair in a little bit more detail, shall we? So yes, folks, yeah, decided enough was enough with this waiting for the old barbers to get open. I thought, wife, get the clippers out, take it all off. So she did it with pleasure. I was starting to get weird curls down here, and I just wasn't feeling the vibe with my hair. And I thought, if there's ever time to get rid of the old barnet, now's the time to do it. So I did it. And I'm showing it off for the world. The caps will be back on very, very soon. Yeah, the light, though. The light. Bloody hell. Anyway, let's get into the action now, shall we? And take a little look at last weekend. I'm still rusty. How we got on. So these were the games last time out. What was it? Match day number 26. So let's take a closer look at it, shall we? So kicking it off, it was Hoffenheim up against Hertha Berlin. The visitors coming away with a comfortable 3-0 win away from home. Big win for Hertha Berlin. That shoots them off to 11th in the table. I hit an absolute shit show this past weekend. Just a 1-0 win for me. Got that one wrong. Next up, we have Dortmund. They took care of business against their local rival Schalke to move again 4 points adrift of the leaders. 4-0 win, comfortable in the end. I saw a 2-1 win myself for Dortmund. Haaland, Sancho and the boys running riot. Next up, I did okay on that one. Leipzig could only muster a 1-1 draw against Freiburg. That's a banana skin right there for Leipzig. They've slipped up a little bit into 4th spot now, 51 points on the board. That's actually 3 draws on the spin, if you could include the 2 games prior to the old lockdown hoodoo. Moving on to, I actually did pretty terrible on that one. I got 2 goals, correct amount of goals, but ultimately wrong. Köln up against Mainz. That ended up all square, 2 apiece, 4-goal bonanza. I actually saw this as a 2-0 win for Köln. Köln looking absolutely pretty fine at the moment. Just 1 defeat in the past 5 games. That was against Mönchengladbach. It was the final game before lockdown as well. Again, pretty shitty predictions-wise for me. Moving up to Augsburg, they lost to Wolfsburg, kicking up their maybe outside bet. Well, no, they've absolutely no chance of getting Champions League football, but they have a good shot at Europa League football. Currently sitting 6th in the table. They are one of the form teams at the moment, unbeaten at least 6 games, winning 3 of the past 5, drawing a couple along the way. Augsburg, though, they are maybe got some concern for that playoff relegation spot. It's actually 4 defeats on the spin for them. Pretty ropey. Actually went with a 1-1 draw in this one. I just didn't know what to expect myself, and I'm sure you guys didn't as well, with the lockdown and what the teams are going to respond to. So I was a little bit anxious with a lot of these. I just didn't know if the norm would resume, and in some cases it hasn't, and in some cases it has. For example, Dortmund, Bayern resumed. Hoffenheim just still look shite. They're going for a right old rough patch. Where are they in the table? They're 9th without a win in at least 6 games. Anyway, so yeah, got that one wrong. So pretty shitty on that one. Düsseldorf and Paderborn duked it out to a 0-0 draw. A massive point for Paderborn, but realistically, I think they're gone. I actually saw this as a 2-1 win for Düsseldorf. They're still in the old scrappy zone, 16th spot at the moment. Just the 1 defeat of the past 6. So they're trying to cling on into that and maybe give themselves a bit of a boost and maybe drag Mainz or Augsburg or even Frankfurt into that other that playoff relegation spot. Speaking of Frankfurt, they lost 3-1 to Borussia Mönchengladbach away or at home. I saw 4 goals in this one, but I actually went with a draw. My boys going into 3rd spot, looking good at the moment, and only 2 points adrift of Dortmund. So maybe they can make a late push for 2nd, or maybe even the title. We'll have to see. Moving into the penultimate game here, Union Berlin took on Bayern. It was a comfortable 2-0 away win for Bayern in the end. I actually went with a 2-1 win on this one. Ain't too shabby to bring my predictions up to 2. And I got the last one wrong. Werder Bremen look dead and buried at the moment. Just 1 point in the past 6 games. 4-1, clean house by Leverkusen. Also with an outside shot at possibly top 4 spots and maybe even a runners-up position. I went with a 1-1 draw in this one. Don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking, folks. So I got myself a big fat 0 on that one as well. So ultimately I got myself 2, which is pretty shit. But this is the table at the moment. Bayern lead the way, 58 points on the board. Dortmund are second, 54. Mönchengladbach are in third. And RB Leipzig are in, or Sport Leipzig are in 4th. Down the bottom, Paderborn and Werder Bremen are look to be going down. Fortuna Düsseldorf clinging on for a better hope in the old relegation playoff spot. So yeah, as for me, big fat 0 or big fat shit zone for me. Shitty, pretty shitty. How about you guys? How do you guys get on? Well, let's get into it. This is the criteria. 0 to 3, you're in the shit-face gang with me. 4 to 5, you're in the straight-face club. That's okay. 6 plus, you're in the top banana. I think there's at least one of those in this. Now, of course, we're going to kick it off with the old new tradition or the new style with the old stop clock. So I'm going to try and get through all of these guys in 60 seconds. Let's see how we do it. Bada bing, let's get going. So, Ichi Machino de Donozia, he did all right for himself, not too shabby. How about Rossi 98? Not too shabby as well. You guys are kicking ass at the moment. Yannick Bustler, not too... Oh, he did absolutely top bananas. We'll give him a round of applause. Moving on to the next fella. It's Table Tennis Twins. Did absolutely terrible, just like me. Miles Austin, he's happy that the Bundesliga's back. Not too shabby as well for that fella. Blue FC, he's not too blue. He's pretty happy with that one as well. Not too shabby. How about LG and Cow 456, The Ledge? He did pretty shitty for himself. He also, shit gang like me. Carl BTW, he did not too shabby. Thank you. Good. Well done with your predictions. How about Ben Blaw? He did that's another round of applause for that son of a gun. Well done to you, laddie. Cody Go, La Patreon. Respect to my brother, but you did shit just like me. Sorry, pal. How about Shane O'Donnell? Not too shabby. How about Bianca Muller? She did her own edits, but she joins me in the shithouse gang. We're getting close. Costas K, not too shabby. Who else do we got? Come on. Eamon Omia, you did pretty shit as well. You joined me in the shithouse gang. Soppy Alupo, pretty shitty. Not too bad, actually. Vincent Hung, the time is up. The clock's gone away, but we're going to continue anyway. Vincent Hung, not too shabby. Who else do we have going on? We got Joachim Johansson, another Patreon. Respect to my brother right there. Patreon. There it is. Coming into the final couple here. Johnny talks Bundesliga. He does talk Bundesliga. He knows his stuff. And he does do pretty well indeed. Well, you guys did that. I did pretty shit. Hopefully we'll all get it better next time around. These are the games we're going to be talking about. Going to kick it all off, of course, with the top of the shop there. So let's get into it. It's Hertha Berlin up against Union Berlin. It's the Battle of the Berlins. Let's talk about it. So the past 6 encounters between two sides, 2 wins for Hertha Berlin, 2 wins for Union Berlin, and 2 draws along the way. They did play in at Union Berlin's home stadium earlier in the season. It was a 1-0 win for for Union Berlin. Last time they played in Hertha Berlin was back in February 2013. It was a 2-2 draw with the goal scorers Adrian Ramos and Ronnie for Hertha Berlin, with Simone Terode and Adam Nimic for Hertha Berlin. Hertha have actually failed to win the last 6 home matches and have also scored at least 2 goals in the last 3 matches. The bookmakers' odds on this one, they go with 30-10 for the hosts, 21-10 for the runners-up, and 9-4 for the draw. A win for Hertha Berlin, who currently find themselves in 11th above Union Berlin. Could see them rise into the top 10, whereas Union Berlin also got the same sort of predicament as well. They could also rise into the top 10. Form-wise, it looks like Hertha Berlin's to lose just 1 defeat the past 5, where Union Berlin have only won 1 of the past 5. For me, what am I going to go with? I'm going to go with a cheeky 2-1 win for Hertha Berlin. They got the form book, they got the bookies, so I'm going to give them my prediction. So next up we have Wolfsburg up against Dortmund. Let's kick it off on this bad boy then, shall we? So the last 6 encounters between these two sides have seen 0 wins for Wolfsburg, 5 wins for Dortmund, and 1 draw along the way. They did play in Dortmund earlier in the season, around about November time. It was a 3-0 win with Hazard, Herrera, and Götze from the penalty spot to make it a comfortable 3-0. The last time they played at Wolfsburg, though, it was also a 1-0 win for Dortmund. Marco Reus on the score sheet that day. In fact, you could take a look at the last 6 encounters between Wolfsburg and Dortmund in Wolfsburg. You see 2 wins for Wolfsburg, 4 wins for Dortmund. You've got to go all the way back to 2015 for Wolfsburg's last victory between these two sides. Dortmund actually won 8 of the last 9 matches in the Bundesliga and kept a clean sheet in 5 of the last 7, so they are looking solid. But Wolfsburg ain't no slouches. Heading into this, the bookmakers odds 7-2 for Wolfsburg, 7-10 on for Dortmund, 3-1 is the draw. The table shows Dortmund in second. A win could go 1 point adrift of Bayern, but they'll need their work to do. Wolfsburg, though, in 6th, need some points themselves. It's a tough old boost, this one, but I'm going to give it a 2-2 draw. Yeah, a bit of a surprise on that one, perhaps. Moving on to the next one, is Paderborn up against Hoffenheim. Let's talk about it, shall we? So Paderborn coming to, of course, bottom of the table. Hoffenheim could do with a win as well. One of the non-form teams at the moment. The last 5 occasions between the two sides sees 4 wins for Hoffenheim and 1 draw. They did play in Hoffenheim earlier in the season. It was a 3-0 win for Hoffenheim. Goal scorers on that occasion was Robert Skov, Pavel Kadljabinek and Jürgen Lusina. The last time they played in Paderborn, though, was a 0-0 draw back in 2015. Around about this time of year, 21st of March, give or take. Paderborn have actually lost the last 4 home matches and have conceded at least 2 goals in those last 4 matches. The bookmakers, they'll go with, on this one, probably go with Hoffenheim on this one. 9-4 for Paderborn, 14-5 is the draw, 21-10 is the away win. Hoffenheim find themselves in 9th, but they could end up around about 11th if results go against them, and they could also see themselves rising to the top 7. As for Paderborn, they are rooted, but they could get themselves above Werder Bremen if they were to be victorious. Tough on this one, Paderborn at home. I'm going to go with a 0-0 draw on this one. Point apiece. I think they'll all be happy with that. What do you think? Get your predictions in nicely down below. Next up, we have Schalke up against Augsburg. Take place in Schalke. The last 6 occasions between these two sides sees 4 wins for Schalke, 2 draws and 0 wins for Augsburg. They did play in Augsburg early in the season. It was a 5-goal thriller, 3-2 win for Schalke. Stefan Lechsteiner with a big fat OG for Schalke to take the lead. Oskan Kabach and Amin Harit on the score sheet for Schalke. Daniel Bayer and Alfred Fingerbossen on the score sheet for Augsburg. The last time they played in Schalke, though, was a 0-0 draw. That was around about 6th of May 2019. Augsburg actually lost the last 5 away matches, whereas Schalke have actually failed to score in the last 6 of the last 8 matches, period. Augsburg could pretty much match that as well. They've failed to score in the last 4 away matches and have conceded 2 goals in the last 6 away matches as well. The bookmakers odds on this one taking place on Sunday, May 24th, 90-20 on for Schalke, 5-2 draw, 11-4 is the away win. A win for Schalke, an 8th could see them rise into the top 6. A win for Augsburg, who were 14th, could see them rise into the top 12. Tough one, this one, but I'm going with a 1-1 draw as well. A lot of draws knocking about on this one. Moving on to the next one, it is Freiburg up against strugglers Werder Bremen. Now, I think Werder Bremen should have a shot at this one, but Freiburg have a little bit of a boost recently. When I say recently, in the past few games. The last 6 encounters sees 1 win for Freiburg, 2 wins for Werder Bremen, and 3 draws along the way. They did play at Bremen earlier in the season. It was a 2-2 draw, and the last time they played in Freiburg, it was a 1-1 draw. Bremen have actually conceded at least 2 goals in the last 7 matches, and have actually lost 6 of those last 7 between. In the division. This match is actually taking place on, where is it? I've lost it. Where is it? It is actually taking place on Saturday, May 23rd. 23-20 is the for Freiburg, 11-5 for Werder Bremen, 5-2 is the draw. Over for Werder Bremen, could see them rise, no places, but close the gap onto Fortuna Düsseldorf to just a couple of points. Whereas Freiburg currently find themselves in 7th, a win away from going into the top 6. I'm going to go with Freiburg on this one. Everything's going against Werder Bremen at the moment, and I think this one is also going to slip through their fingers. So comfortable win in the end for Freiburg. Next up, my boys up against Bayer Leverkusen. So this is 3rd up against 5th. A very, very tasty match over in Mönchengladbach. So it'll be a tough one. Regardless of who comes out on top. The last 6 occasions sees 3 wins for Gladbach, 3 wins for Leverkusen, 0 draws along the way. However, they did play in Leverkusen earlier in the season, around about November time. It was a 2-1 win for Mönchengladbach. Goal scorers on that day, Oscar Wendt and Marcus Traum for Mönchengladbach. Kevin Volland on the score sheet, with Leon Bailey getting himself sent off. The last time they played, though, in Mönchengladbach was a 5-0 demolition by Bayer Leverkusen. Karim Belrabi got himself a brace. Kevin Volland on the score sheet once again. Tim Jedvaj and Julian Brandt. So goals are playing plenty between these two sides. And in fact, the last 6 games for Mönchengladbach, just one defeat. That was against Dortmund, whereas Leverkusen's last 5, they're unbeaten. Actually won 4 on the spin. Leverkusen actually won 5 of the last 6. Mönchengladbach, they're unbeaten in 10 of the last 11 home matches. As well. Bookmakers will find this one a little bit tricky. Taking place on Saturday, 30-10 for Gladbach, 7-5 for draw, 11-4 is the thingamajig. I'm going to go with a tough one. I'm going with Mönchengladbach. I just don't know though. It could go either way. I wouldn't bet on this one if you were a gambling man. Next up is the leaders, champions, whatever you want to call them, Bayern. They are taking on Eintracht Frankfurt. Of course, at the start of the season, ex-Frankfurt manager was the current Bayern manager, but that's all changed now. Of course, he's long gone. Anyway, the last 6 encounters sees 4 wins for Bayern, 2 wins for Frankfurt. They did play in Frankfurt earlier this season. It was a 5-1 win for Frankfurt. That's right. Goodness gracious me. Goal scorers on that day can I tell you? Yeah, Kostic got himself a goal. So as well, Abraham, Hinteregger and Pacenta, with Lewandowski the only goal scorer for Bayern. The last time I played in Frankfurt, there was a 3-0 win for Bayern back in 2018, around about December time. Frankfurt actually lost the last 4 matches in the Bundesliga, but Bayern actually kept a clean sheet in the last 3 matches. The bookmakers, this game takes place on Saturday as well. Late kickoff than the other ones. 6-1 on for Bayern, 12-1 the draw, 30-2 the away win. Frankfurt currently find themselves 30th, a win away from going into 11th. Bayern are top of the pops. They could have a 7-point lead over Dortmund if they're victorious. I'm going to go with a 3-0 win for Bayern. What about you? Get your predictions in down below. Into the final 2 now. It is Mainz. Next up into the final 2 now, it is Mainz up against RB Leipzig. Mainz coming to this 15th in the table. Leipzig coming to this 4th. A win for Leipzig could see them go into 2nd on goal difference, depending on what goes on elsewhere. Let's have a look at this then. There's Mainz. Mainz taking on Leipzig. The last 6 encounters sees 1 win for Mainz, 3 wins for Leipzig, 2 draws along the way. They did play in Leipzig earlier in the season, and it was not 4-0. It was not 5-0. It wasn't even 6-0. It was 8-0. That's right, to Leipzig. That was back in November. Tough times. Goal scorers, there's too many to talk about. The last time I played in Mainz, though, there were 6 goals in it. It was a 3-3 encounter with Lucas Kosterman getting himself a brace for Leipzig, and Timo Werner on the score sheet, with Karim Arinaso, Musa Nakarakeli, and Jean-Philippe Matala on the score sheet for Mainz. Leipzig have actually drawn the last 3 matches and kept a clean sheet in those last in the last 3 away matches as well. Bookmakers odds on this one have just changed. They're live. They're eating up my time. 5-1 for Mainz, 2-1 on for Leipzig. 10-3 is the draw. Tough old boots, but I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Leipzig in the end. And finally, it is Köln up against Fortuna Düsseldorf. Let's get into this one then, shall we? Where is it? Köln. The last 6 encounters sees, in fact, the last 4 encounters sees 1 win for Köln, 1 win for Düsseldorf, 2 draws along the way. They played in Düsseldorf around about November time this season. They Düsseldorf winning 2-0 in the end. The last time they played in Köln was all the way back in 2013, and it was a 1-1 draw. Düsseldorf drawn the last 3 matches in the Bundesliga, so they'll probably be looking to keep that unbeaten run, or at least that decent run going. They've actually just lost once in the past 5. Same could be said for Köln, losing 1 of the past 5. They've won 3 of the past 5 as well. Not too shabby as well. The bookmakers odds on this one, 5-4 on for Köln, 40-5 is the draw, 3-1 is the away win for Fortuna Düsseldorf. The table shows Köln in 10th, a win away from going into the top 9, whereas Düsseldorf are in 16th, and they need a win to maybe get themselves out of the old playoff spots. For me, it's a tough one, this one, but I'm still going to go with Köln, who look decent at the moment. 2-0 win in the end, and that will be my predictions for matchday number 27, folks. So let's just say, between you and I, all these predictions will have come on in true. Bayern will be top spot. Borussia Dortmund will remain in second spot with level on points with Mönchengladbach, and Leipzig will be in 4th, just 1 point behind. Leverkusen and Wolfsburg still battling for Europa League spots. Leverkusen can probably even sneak into those Champions League spots if they can get some positive results over the next few match days. But yeah, that's my predictions. Make sure you get your own predictions in nice and early down below, folks. And of course, make sure you check out the odd description. Links to my other social media platforms are in there: Twitter, Facebook, and all that kind of good stuff. Of course, if you want to become patrons, there is a link for that sucker in there. The ambition was to get 10 Patreons. We did reach that number, but now we've backtracked a little bit, so that target is now back in full focus, folks. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that thumbs up. And if you are new, smash and subscribe. New predictions every week. I used to say every day, but no. We've got to wait for the other leagues to kick on. But it's good to have football back, despite behind closed doors and all that kind of good stuff. At least you're not in South Korea with the old sex dolls knocking about. But anyway, that's the story for another video. Until then, boys, girls, we're out of here. Thanks again for watching. Please like, share, and most importantly, hit the subscribe button to keep you bang up to date. All things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, football related. We've got it all covered right under one roof. And while I still have you, please be sure to check out some of the old videos scattered along here. I hope.